not entertain. This is not why you are here. Champion has returned from battle with intelligence and vigor. Woo! Now you all have a face to put with the voice. This is the Experiencing Rep podcast. I am very welcomed and excited to greet you in to the first video episode of the best podcast that you will ever listen to, allegedly. All right. So now that you can all see me, I got some cool stuff to talk about. And I'm not going to jump straight into it because it's kind of, well, I am, because I'm going to chop this up. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that is in support, that is in support of my creativity and my mission to be the best at making podcasts that I can be. All right, so just make sure y'all follow me on Instagram too if you want. Instagram is a lot of fun. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. So pretty much what I wanted to talk about. We're gonna be talking about some in-depth things. These things are deep, down in the deep end of the rabbit hole. So if you don't like that, now's your time to scram. So all right, so I was thinking about this like the other day, and it kind of really I have a long list of quotes in my phone, and really whenever like I started off, so like when I started doing the pod, I was kind of just doing the news, and then I realized that I really wanted to do video because video is awesome, and it just kind of it allows me to like be more creative, you know, and it allows the viewer to actually see me, which is pretty cool. I think that's how people get famous, right? Gotta have a face to go with the energy. All right, so all that out of the way, I would like to say that it is always those we love the most that will hurt us the most. So, that, like, to me, that was just super interesting because I think that's very true. It kind of comes back to a Bring Me the Horizon song. If you don't know who Bring Me the Horizon is, they are a metal band from Europe. Nah, they're from the UK. But anyway, the song is True Friends. And it kind of goes like, there's no kinda, it does go. Like, true friends stab you in the front. You know? It's only bitch-ass people that stab you in the back and run away. Right? If someone's like really down for you, like, they'll just say, you know, F it, like, knife to the gut, and look at you in the eyes and be like, you know, like, you knew the whole time, and I'm reinforcing that for you. Bam. Yeah, no, but that's super true. I always kind of thought that, you know, if you're like highly emotional and easily offended, you know, that's always a negative quality to have. You don't want to have a weak personality to where you're going to get offended on a daily basis. You know? Isn't that just kind of like dumbass? I mean, you know, isn't that just kind of like idiotic? You know, you can't even navigate your way through the world and this beautiful gift of a life that you've been given without getting offended and hurt. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. So, with that being said, it kind of goes back to, you know, are you able to maintain your chill during those times where you're going to be, you know, emotionally stabbed, emotionally punched. Boom! Emotional uppercut. Huh! Yeah, so, excuse me. Yeah, so, but the thing about it is, like, the people that actually care for you the most are the ones that are going to, like, emotionally uppercut you the most, because they know that it's just going to make you stronger. You know? They know that it's just going to make you a stronger person down the line. So you can't be scared of having negative emotions. You know, there's a thing, there's a saying, you know, and something I was kind of thinking about a lot the other day as well. You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot at the bottom, you know? Like, you can learn a lot about yourself at rock bottom. And that's why I think it's essential for every person, man or woman, mostly men, to hit rock bottom at some point in your life. And really, in my opinion, just once isn't enough. But I've even heard Mike Tyson, he was on the intro for my last pod, if you didn't know. I'm a conqueror. That's, bro, the GOAT. Anyway, he has even said, I've heard in other interviews with him where he's like, you have to hit bottom. You know? Like, you got to hit that bottom. You got to hit the point of no return, the point of all things closing out, and that's your resting point. That's like, everybody has a different rock bottom. And maybe I've already talked about this, but a lot of podcasts and YouTube channels have reoccurring themes. So I like to elaborate and expound on reoccurring themes. Bleep. Bleep that word out. But yeah, so everyone has their own resting point, and everyone has their own version of rock bottom, but it's up to you to find it. And once you find it, you learn a lot there. And honestly, a lot of life is hitting a new rock bottom, because there's levels to this shit you and I know. Once you get to a new level in life, you know, you're gonna have to play that level. You're gonna have to play at a new level. And you're gonna fail that mission, bro. I don't know who's trying to tell you you're not. I don't know who's trying to tell you that you're not gonna fail the first mission on your new level in life. I'm not telling you, like, you're gonna fucking fail. Like, you're gonna fucking eat ass the first time. Yeah, you've been putting in that work. You leveled up, bro. It's harder. It's harder, big dog. Yeah, no, for real, straight up. But you know, when you're leveling up and you kind of understand all these points in life that you're gonna have to go to, and you're gonna have to embrace these new challenges, that is when understanding that the people that actually care about you are going to be the ones that fuck you up. Now, don't get it confused, like, you know, that dude at your workplace, or that person at the grocery store, or even while you're driving, you know, it was a complete asswipe. You know, they might be a complete asswipe their whole life, but what did you take away from that? You know, it's kind of weird. It's like think of exercising, and think of any type of training, like reading, the stuff you do on your own, is just preparing you for the real world. It's just preparing you for real life that you already live in. You already live in real life. All that stuff is just preparing you for the things that are not seen yet. You know, I know I've said this quote before. I believe it's Charles Francis Potter. I don't know who the hell that guy is, but I know his quote. Who you are when no one's looking determines who you are when you can't help it. It's fire. It's fire, dude. It's like, whoa. You know, it's like you see people that are like obese, or see people that are like really negative. So you can tell who they are behind closed doors. You know, it's like It's all right. You're a lazy ass behind closed doors. I can tell because of your mentality and your body, or like someone that is just like super negative. It's like I can tell who you are behind closed doors, bro. Like you got some resentment built up in your mind. You got some trauma. Like you've been doing things the same way for so long that you found out like that's what works for you, and you try to like repeatedly do that. Like you have to constantly be like looking for new ways. I think you don't want to be like, the world is so diverse now, man. It's so diverse, bro. You can't afford to be a one-dimensional person in a three-dimensional world. Not today, not in 2024. Not in 2024, man. All right, moving on. Moving on, folks. So, I'm probably going to edit this part out. Okay, so now that I've talked about how, you might grow as a person, or how you might take on life as a person. Now I'm going to talk about socializing and anxiety. Yeah. There's a square on my screen right now. Yeah. Don't be a square. Okay, so now what I'm going to talk about is anxiety, because that has been something that I have dealt with a lot. And talking about the rock bottom that I just talked about earlier, I have been to my personal rock bottom, and anxiety was a big part of it there, and I've overcome the anxiety a lot. And I've also found ways to reduce the anxiety and socialize it and mitigate it while I socialize. But this is a quote that the Stoics had on anxiety. It's pretty much, they saw anxiety as beginning from this desire, a desire for things that are out of our control. That's insane. Like, that's crazy to me, because it's so true. The Stoic mantra of seeing anxiety and seeing a lot of things in the world is you got to control what you can control, and that's a big part. That's a big part of what kind of keeps my head on straight. It's like when you're somebody when you're somebody and you find yourself like flustered or whatever, you always gotta ask yourself this question, like, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, then you probably need to leave it. You probably need to move on. If the answer is yes, then you might wanna contemplate whether you can do something about it. But you can't let things that are out of your control determine the course of your life, and that has a big thing to do with the anxiety. Another quote is like, you can escape anxiety by realizing that the natural order of things, like there's a natural order of things that's just going to happen in life. So once you understand that order, you can really kind of take a step back and be like, I literally have no power over that. So that literally means absolutely zero to me. So when you realize you don't have power over a lot of things, and then you take all responsibility away from yourself for it, like, phew, then you're like, whoa. Now you're a little bit more enlightened. All right, so no good man turns pale and trembles and says, how will he receive me? What sort of a hearing will he give me? He'll act, you slave, as he thinks fit. Discourses 2.13. So that's from Meditations. But really, like, when you think of like what that says, I've been the guy that turns pale, for sure. Like, I've been the guy, it pretty much kind of says, it's like, how will he receive me? What sort of a hearing will he give me? Yeah, man. Fuck that shit. I'm trying to stop laughing at myself while I record, because I don't know. I read something about it like that. But anyway, you can't think of what the person is going to think of you. It's like, someone's going to act the way they're going to act. Especially like as a grown person or any person, people act how they're going to act because that's who they are, And like the way the quote goes, it's like, he'll act, you slave, as he thinks fit. It's like that mentality. They're just telling you like that mentality is awful. Like that's a slave. That's a slave mentality. You can't take that on. It's crazy, bro. Like, you see all these BS people online talking about like, oh, you want to get better, go out and do the thing you need to get better at. It's like, no, bro. It's like, maybe find someone smart enough and understand that thing on a core basis first. Really internalize that thing that you want to pursue and do, and understand it, and really understand it. Because when you understand the nature of a thing, you know what it's capable of. Blade, 1999. But it's like, that's one thing that really has helped me too. It's like, when you realize that whatever pursuit you're on in life, whatever your main purpose is in life, you're going to have to internalize that and understand it on a deep basis, and you're going to have to find people that are at a much higher level than you to do that. But sometimes people will get to a higher level than you, but they suck at elaborating on that stuff. They suck at teaching it or whatever. So personally for me, and I think this goes with all people with a brain, that you're going to have to learn and internalize whatever you want to do with your life. Whatever you want to get better at, whatever aspect of your life you're going to get better at first, before you go out and try to dominate that thing. Like even when I started podcasting, like when I first started podcasting, I was like, do I really want to go and try to like read all this stuff and no, I literally just grabbed a mic and just went. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do. But when you get rid of that fear of what other people think, then you can do that. But that's what I'm saying, like different strokes for different folks. Like if you're the type that you want to sit there and research everything first, and then and try and do it, yeah, go ahead. But I'm telling you, sometimes that can hinder you because you get so in your head about it, and you're like, oh well, if that's that, and if I go this far, and will I, will I be this way, and you get all that stuff going in your head. Sometimes the best thing to do is just go and do it, and just, and yeah, I think you should do that. I think people should do that, a little bit initially, just to see where they're at, for sure. Just to see like where they need to engage more, or like just where on the spectrum they are, So that's good, but terrible mindsets, like you get rich in the mind before you get rich in the pocket. Game is game, bro. Facts. All right. What other people think matters, but primarily as input for deciding what the right thing to do is. Other people's opinions can guide, but the elite person never lets them stand in the way of happiness. Very true. Anxiety is normal. A high-level person accepts feelings of nervousness when they arise, listens to them when they're useful, and always acts with virtue. You got to think like, getting nervous is there for a reason, right? If you never got nervous and you're a fucking savage in the woods and you see this two fucking giant lions, oh, I'm not nervous. I'll bet your ass. Shit. Fucking pissing my pants. No, I'm just joking. To do a courageous action that requires personal skills, one must be confident that he or she is capable of doing it, of course, and stick to the action until the end. Yes. Confidence is important in performing valuable assessments. So you got to be confident to do something that's valuable. That's valid. As we need to believe in our skills to evaluate/assess the situation to decide what to avoid, with courageous action should be undertaken. I like that. All right. Okay. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I have a lot. Maybe I have a little bit more that I want to talk about. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to end you with this, because I know last time, or on one of my podcasts before, I was talking about this thing that I used to do that is grounding or earthing or whatever. It's an awesome thing to do, but I know a lot of people know that I'm a spiritual wizard. Not necessarily, but people always kind of question. So I'm gonna end this episode on a religious note. So one of the things that I think is interesting that I read the other day is this thing called God.